just go for something way more disruptive on KP. You see the Lifestealer matchup, you can abuse it now. Pick something favorable before they start banning those matchups away.
What do you want, though? If we see a KP hero popping up, need something decent up against the Lifestealer, and you could go into like a standard kind of off-lane Tide. We don't really see that much out of KP, though, that Tide Hunter, but that might be an option for him. Can deal okay with the Lifestealer. They're going to have a heavy think about this one. And what else is there, really? Like, you can't pick up the Brewmaster here up against the Lifestealer, and we haven't seen it anyway. KP does play Naga Siren, but it's not the kind of hero you need right now for the side of TNC. It doesn't really do much for them.
No. I mean, the only other thing we've seen KP play recently that is sort of strange, just like the Omni Knight, but it doesn't sound like it would fit in. They go with the Gabby PA. So they do go into that. It's a comfort pick for them. They could play aggressive. It's that back and forth between PA and Lifestealer where the Lifestealer wants to man up. The PA does as well. But there's some item timings that cancel each other's advantage out. Of course, for the Lifestealer, that's going to be the MKB. For the PA, it's your timing into the Desolator plus the Battle Fury. We'll see how much space they can get out here. For TNC early on, I think Gabby's going to have to really farm like a madman. Has to be a lot more conservative in the early game. You don't want to fall down to the early aggression you has. They can easily punish the PA here. So that is pretty much it for Gabby in this game. Just get the farm going. Once you have Battle Fury, Deso, maybe a BKB as well, it's going to be safer to go for those fights.
Okay. I wonder now as well for New, are they going to run this off-lane Snapfire perhaps? And maybe pick up another mid hero? Because it does seem to be what TNC are believing. They ban out the Ember for now. So wanting any hero that deals with the Void Spirit and PA to be removed.
5 seconds.
No, I still think it's a snap mid.
Okay.
I think you're fine with a Void Spirit matchup. If you get something in the off, I was going to say the Tide would have been really good because you can spit him in. Once you've got the Ags deals with the PA well, it would have been really good, but good foresight from TNC to ban it out. Options for the off now. You could easily just go for the Centaur. We haven't seen that too much outside of Among Us, so it's really just been Cuckoo keeping that hero alive. But I think Centaur here is pretty good. Like, you've got Clock Scent as a duo. You've got Gobble Up with a hook shot to follow up, with the Infest play, with the Lifestealer. I think it lines up pretty darn nicely. Even laning against the PA is pretty okay for that. You'll just worry about the magic damage early on. So Hood of Defiance timing's key if you do go for a Centaur last pick.
We see the Slaughter banned out now from New Esports, so not wanting that Slaughter up against the Lifestealer, of course. Final pickup here for TNC. They only have 11 seconds of reserve time after this countdown.
10 seconds.
They could run the Veno offlane and pick another pos 5, but that's highly unlikely.
5 seconds remaining.
Not into the Lifestealer.
Dire's turn to pick.
Okay. Wind Ranger pops out. So that's an off-lane Wind Ranger or a mid-Wind Ranger off-lane Void Spirit that we're about to see?
Yeah, I think you want the mid-Wind Ranger here.
Good pick. That's a great pick.
Oh wow, they flexed it. It's gonna be the offlane Snap or the offlane Clock with a Zeus. They tricked TNC into going into this Wind Ranger expecting the Snap mid. The punish, KP is on the offlane Void Spirit. I don't know what that does against Lifestealer. I think that's going to be a lane KP's going to have to work hard for. It's an interesting back and forth. I think New Esports, you said it when it came out, this is an amazing last. Just Zeus into PA, into Wind Ranger, even Void Spirit. He doesn't have magic. You know, it's not like he's an Ember with Flame Guard. You're going to burst these heroes down. You need to build a farm up. The potential is so great, though. Like, there's so much long-range damage here. Think about Clockwork Hook Shot with the Kisses, with Thunder God's Wrath. Once you hit 6, you have to watch the aggression. New Esports is going to pump it out. TNC, this is not a draft we've seen them run. I don't recall seeing Armel Wind Ranger too often. I think that's going to be the biggest wild card here. We know the timings. KP wants to hit it with the Void and the PA. They've just got to get some space out and hold against that tide.
See if they can get it done. New Esports, 1 game away from proceeding through the lower bracket, and TNC, well, they've got to win this game to try and force through game number 3, otherwise they are out. A lot of pressure here on this Radiant side. See, they have a lot of fans watching right now as well. They do not want to see their team getting kicked out this early.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, right? Like TNC off of ESL1 Thailand, suddenly finding themselves way earlier in the lower bracket, 1 game down. The pressure is on. It's weighing on these boys. We'll see if they can overcome that pressure. They've been under high pressure scenarios before. They have overcome them. But New, they're surprising us. Like, they're showing in the groups what's up and down. We talked about them, looking on fire when they're on point. And they have been on point the past few days, at least in these playoffs.
They have.
So you're going to have to deal with that. And
for battle.
I think they're confident. Like, they saw that Wind Ranger. It was an immediate pick into the Zeus. They did get that flex game off perfectly. Candy does have a lot of pressure to deal with the PA. And there should be some, sustainable farm coming out for Gabby. You can just play with a dagger if things go south. We'll see, though. It's going to be a very, very tense game between these two teams. TNC's going to really try to hold on as long as possible.
I don't think so.
I wonder how well Armel can try to slow down the Zeus mid. I think that's going to be very important this game. The influence that DDZ can have on the Zeus. It just deals with every single pick of TNC so well. They are all so susceptible to that damage out from the Zeus. Especially Gabby and Armel, of course, on the Wind Ranger PA. Not going to be a very fun time for them. And you might have to see KP picking up something like the pipe on this Void Spirit to try and negate some of that damage. But even then, pipe's not exactly the item you think of when you think of Void Spirit.
No.
So it's going to feel a bit weird trying to go for that if that's going to be the option here for KP. But if you don't get it, then you're just going to take all the damage out from DDZ.
Yeah. So it's going to be a very effective Zeus game in that case. I think it might have to be March who builds that up, but support Veno on 5. It does take a while for that farm to pour in. We'll see as it develops. Looking at top lane, of course, KP and the Void Spirit, Tim's and the Tiny, going to be up against that dual lane of Lance and Mosin on the Lifestealer and the Oracle. And there's a lot of early aggression that you can get out here as the Void Spirit, but there's a lot of sustain here as well for the side of New Esports. Going to be an interesting back and forth. I think Tims will really just want to get some pulls going, as we tend to see him do on the Tiny, but you don't want to leave KP isolated like this.
No, you don't. He's going to take a lot of damage straight off the bat from Lance. And they know this in the safe lane side of New Esports. If you can get the Fortune's End off, Lance will have a field day just hitting KP over and over again. There's not really much Tims can do about it, but go for the pull like he is. But Mosin, of course, is going to try and punish him for this the best he can. Tims will just run away with the creep pull for now. Of course, in that mid lane, DDZ is going to be up against Armel. Both heroes, I believe, will have to be quite careful in this mid lane as there is kill potential from both sides. I'd argue that maybe Armel should be a little bit more careful here up against DDZ. It looks like DDZ will probably go into that Arc Lightning build again on the Zeus, which is to be expected. So he won't really have to worry too much about the Lightning Bolt early on.
Yeah, I think that's the right play for DDZ. Just clear out the creep wave, get your solid farm up. You don't want to trade too much with a Wind Ranger. She has some good range. She has Wind Run for the right clicks. You just don't want to chance it, and her nuke is a lot stronger as she invests in levels. So just clear out the creep wave. That's the way to play it, and slowly whittle away on RML. The runes are going to be important, so the supports down bot are going to have a lot of pressure on them to rotate. And you see Yamate and March, of course, in that lane with Gabby and Candyloon. It's already been a smooth start here for Gabby. He's doing fine in last hits, but so is Candy. You're not slowing down the Snapfire at all. Yamate, in this lane, it's a bit awkward because of that Veno. So it's harder to find an angle, but if you can... Oh,
yeah, some awkward pause timing there. Have a bit of lag going on here from TNC. New Esports is not experiencing that lag. Looks like it is just going to be on the TNC side of things. So Yamate does have the cogs as well, so he can go for the cogs setup here on the Venomancer with the battery assault at level 1. And you have Candloon who can help out with a level 1 Scatterblast. But they probably won't bother too much, because Gabby is going to be able to get some free harass off on Candy while he is going in for the Scatterblast, and it may put them at risk of dying, especially if March was to get the Gale off onto Candy. I guess we'll see what Yamate wants to do with this Clockwork right now. It's an interesting decision to have to make.
Yeah, I think in the moment you definitely go for it. Right now, up in the air, awkward. Not quite the situation you want, but yeah, it happens. Again, there's that line maintenance here in the Philippines. It's been affecting a lot of people. I believe there was a thunder strike in one of the regions as well, which disrupted like the relay. So it's been an up and down. It's just something you have to deal with. And TNC, hopefully it doesn't affect them too much. You know, they wouldn't want it to still. Here we go.
Yamate gonna go for the cogs. Candle's gonna come in. Yeah, they've got the kill here. March cannot get out of there. Gabby will jump in onto Yamate, but can't kill off the Clockwork with that battery assault. And Candloon will be able to walk away with that first blood for free.
Yeah, it's a great pickup. That's how you set this lane up. You are out of mana though, but Candy is ferrying in his bottle. So they're going to have Regen in spades now for the side of New. Of course, that gives more incentive for Yamate to get those rotations out into the power runes, and he can run faster. They got the Gale and Candy, but of course he just TP's home.
That mid lane is still going very well for DDZ so far on that Zeus. 15 and 2 in terms of CS. Mel keeping up on the Wind Ranger, of course, at 14 and 4. Just trying to control the lane and force DDZ to come in close for those last hits, as DDZ doesn't have any mana regen right now, but he does get the bottle out in time. It'll be fine to just sit back and just spam Arc Lightning again the time he wants a CS. Meanwhile, top lane, it's been pretty passive. Lance still farming okay. He's going to find himself just slightly behind Gabby on the PA, but not too far behind. KP is surprisingly getting quite a bit of CS considering the circumstances.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard lane to maintain though. I mean, this is the thing with Void Spirit off against an Oracle. You pop Resonant Pulse, you want to tank the creep wave, you want to trade hits, but if the Oracle's around, he just purges it off. You know, he just immediately dispels that shield, so a lot of the tankiness of the hero is kind of taken out. I think KP's got to be cautious with his spacing. He's down to 1 Tango. Not a very comfy spot for the offlaner, and you know, Lance, if he gets the right opportunity, might be able to apply a bit more pressure than you'd expect the safe laner to get done. Still, situation for TNC, you mentioned it. Gabby's still finding the farm bot, so Candyloon's not doing as much as we'd expect to slow down the PA. I think that's something TNC can build on top of. Yamate as well, it's just kind of zoned out. He's not able to soak as much EXP, still stuck at 2. And as we approach those 4-minute power runes, Yamate at 2 is going to hurt his chances for the contest. It's not as strong being stuck at battery assault level 1.
It is not. A lot of pings down at that bot lane. They're pinging out Gabby. I'm not sure why. He is the man that's disconnected right now on the PA. So, it's waiting Gabby out, and hopefully TNC get these internet issues sorted. It is pretty hard if, you know, problems are happening over in the country. Not much they can do about it.
No, it's out of hand, unfortunately. Still, you know, it's a bit of a pastime, Mike. You asked me about dinner. What have you been having?
Actually, funny thing, John, my wife decided, because she thought I was going to work late tonight, she decided to get a full cheese platter with like all this salami and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Which really hurts my feelings, John, because, you know, I'm not going to have any unless we finish early tonight, so that kind of sucks. I'm going to eat it all before I get out of this office, which is very upsetting.
Yeah. So, I mean, if this boss goes on, that might just be the case. This is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, but 300 ping. That's no good.
Ironically enough, KP's probably the guy with the lowest ping right now, and he's in Australia.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably at 90, which is completely fine. You know, it's like I used to have 90 ping from the Philippines as well. You know,
Did you
towards
really?
Singapore. Yeah, on my old network, which is of course PLDT. There's only two choices. When I was on PLDT, it was 90 ping. Now I'm down to like 60, which is I don't know how it got down. They use the same lines. I don't know how. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm down to 60.
Well done,
Used to be
John.
better in Singapore though. In Singapore, Mike, it was 3 ms. Ooh, I could feel that advantage. You know, I felt like a god.
I get
3
like
ms ping.
I get like 2-3 ms in the Oz server, which is nice.
Oh right, I forgot. I forgot
Yeah.
there is a server there.
What do you mean you forgot there's a server there? We're here. Where do you think
No,
KP and Anna
'cause we
came
keep-
from? You think they
Yeah,
were
but-
born as good Dota players?
I keep forgetting that like you're like because I imagine Australia being so gigantic that I still imagine ping issues, or at least like 50 ms.
It
Sounds
depends.
reasonable.
If
right?
you're on the west coast, so Western Australia, then you'll have ping issues in Australia, but they're not really that bad. Like you'll get maybe 40 or 50 ms at max.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
good.
believe. But the better thing about being in Western Australia is you get lower ping to sea. So I
Yeah.
don't know why, because it's just west. It's not like we're going north, but for some reason Western Australia gets like 50 ping to sea, which is about half of what you would get on the east coast. And I'm not even gonna lie, John. I honestly thought about moving there just so I could play in the sea server. I'm not even joking. Like it really was a consideration of mine.
Oh,
It's a nice place to live
Yeah.
as well. Like there's not much to do. It's
Yeah.
it's a bit boring, but if you just sit at home playing Dota all day, why not?
what's in West Australia again? Is it Perth? Am I?
Yes, Perth. Yeah.
Yeah, Perth's a pretty chill place,
I
and as
shouldn't
far
say
as I know.
I shouldn't say it's boring. I've never been there. I've just been told that there's not really much to do.
No, people from Perth tend to say it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
At least from what I hear. But it's relaxing. I think that's the key thing.
Well, that's what I like
very
about it as
relaxing.
well. I don't like, having neighbors and stuff like that. I'd rather just live on my own, you know what I mean?
Just the outback behind you.
Yeah.
That's it. Just the wilderness.
Couple
Lots
kangaroos.
of snakes.
Yeah,
a couple of roos.
snakes, we'll sort them out.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. It sounds relaxing. It's a simple life, I guess. I mean, simple enough. As long as you have a good line for Dota, I think anything is fine.
Exactly
And
right.
That's the important stuff.
What else do you
It's the
need?
important stuff.
Who
Nothing
needs
much more.
Who needs food and water, John? You've got Dota. Everything
you don't need
could
it.
You don't. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
You just need a can of Monster. That's it. You're fine.
Exactly right, John. That's why I like you. We think alike. Another disconnection here
man.
for Gabby, though. Bit
This is
unfortunate.
bad.
It is bad because they've only got less than 5 minutes of pause time left, and then it'll be up to new esports to give them pause time if they want to.
I mean, they don't have to. I think
No, it's perfectly
not,
fine
You know,
if
if
they
they unpause, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Not
Clean
their
it up.
problem. They're trying to win a
not their
tournament here.
problem. Yep. Yep. And TNC is the kind of team where you can't really fault the team for
Oh, of course not.
Like
Like, it's not their
They're
fault.
such a high level team. Yeah, it's not their. I think
It's just internet
this is
cuts
so
out. What
awkward.
can you do? Like you got 300
Yeah.
ping for no reason. What can you do? You can't just go fix the lines in 5
No.
minutes.
if only, if only it worked that way. Doesn't quite. Yeah. Still.
Hope everyone's having a good time out there watching the games today. Hopefully it's been enjoyable for you all. Of course, there is
Yeah.
going to be some amazing games tomorrow, as far as I'm aware. Should be starting off with the upper bracket final between Among Us and Boom Esports, which we saw a match between them prior to the playoffs, but Boom Esports did lose that 0-2. So, and it wasn't even close. Among Us
Yeah.
just completely stomped them. So I wonder what Boom's thinking about now, like what strategy they're considering to try and beat out Among Us tomorrow.
Yeah. It's going to be one to watch out for. Of course, we've also got the lower bracket round 3 then. So it's going to be Motivate Trust against whoever wins this one out. So it's either TNC or New.
Yep.
Should be fun. Should be fun. It's going to be a fun day. I can't believe we're winding down. I mean, I said this earlier in the day, but did it feel like 14 days of Dota for you, Mike?
Nope. No,
right?
it did not.
It just kind of flashed by. It's been so much fun getting to cover all of these games. It's been a privilege, having a good partner, having some good games,
Oh, thank you,
having
John.
Can of Monster,
That's the one compliment you've ever given me.
One a day, Mike. That's my limit.
I haven't received one a day, John. I'd like to collect collect the debt that you owe me right now.
Okay, if it's one a day and I haven't done any other days, that's 13 compliments. I'll try to think
13?
of some, Mike.
I was talking
Yeah?
about the years we've been casting with each other, John.
Oh, that's way too much, Mike. I can't count it.
Don't
That's
worry,
a
John.
lot.
It'll prepare you for marriage. Don't worry. Just get started. Good practice. Good practice.
Oh,
So,
boy.
TNC have 1 minute left, John, of pause time. Not good news. Now, I believe
No.
Gabby can play. It's not a connection issue. The problem is he's having 300 ping when he connects.
Yeah.
So he can connect to the game, but he's going to have to play with 300 ping as a position 1 playing PA, which is pretty hard to do. Let me tell you, John. It's not very fun.
Nope. It's gonna be a struggle, but I think that's better than the alternative of just playing 4v5.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Of course.
You know, if it's forced down to the line, he's got to cop it and just hope the internet improves.
He's gotta,
Which, you know,
He's going to
never know.
channel his inner Australian. He's got to get that Australian Dota techniques out, you know? KP has to have a word with him now and just tell him how to do it. It's,
Yeah.
you know, back when Dota 2 first came out, John, and I know I've told this story before. Oh, we're out of pause time. Never mind the story. What happens now? Admin has advised that we are out of pause time. Gabby will reconnect. The game must be unpaused, he says. Rules are rules. We have to do it. So Gabby's reconnected, and Gabby says, never mind, just go ahead. We'll play with 300 ping. All right?
Ooh. Yep. We'll see how he does. I think important to keep that in mind. Still, March zoning out Yamate. We're reaching the 4-minute runes. You're still stuck at 2 on Yamate. It's again going to be a bit of a struggle in that scuffle, and you already have TNC in position to kind of secure the bot. Tim's is around. No one coming out, so this should be a freebie for TNC at the 4-minute mark.
It will be. Armel going to go down for it. Tim's, he's just going to take over that mid lane for a second while Armel does leave. Yamate a bit late to the party there. Did try to come in at the last second and maybe swipe it away from Armel, but that was not the case. He'll have a full bottle now. Looks like DDZ. He takes a neutral camp, but he's going to have to run all the way back to the fountain. No point being in the lane if you can't spam Arc Lightning, because Armel will abuse you on the Wind Ranger. And speaking of Armel, John, considering that Gabby is playing on about 300 ping right now, Armel's really going to have to step up this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure for him to hit his power spikes, hit his timings. Javelin timing going to be key into the MKB, of course. He already queues up the power treads into the MKB, so looking like a decent time. Of course, DZ just comes back in and gets farming up.
Candy Loon in the spot of danger. They almost killed off March, but Candy is now on the run. Gabby is still going to chase, but you can see that ping affecting him right now. Gabby might eventually get it, but the Conks pushback is there. Now the cookie away. Candy, he can't get out of this. Gabby's going to get him. Nice pick off there from Gabby. He'll return back to CS. It's not
it's a
looking
good
too
one.
bad.
Yeah, they managed to make it work. I think Candy's got to be more careful with his spacing. Yamate, yeah, he's in a very bad spot. It's a clockwork, so you've got to be a bit more independent, play a bit safer here on that offlane
Nice
snap.
toss back,
Gab-
Tims. Got the toss back onto DDZ mid lane, and Armel will be able to get the kill now, and TNC picking up their first 2 kills of the game in the last 30 seconds. Those are 2 big pickoffs as well.
Yeah, really important to slow down that pace from the Zeus. You do have level 6 here for DDZ. Maybe New Esports starts looking around the map, figuring out who they can burst down. There's some potential for a lot of damage to fly in out of nowhere, and lucky for Armel, he gets a regen as well on top of that. Gets to stay in that mid lane a bit more. And so far, TNC are having a good time. I think beyond the top lane for KP, every single lane has worked out rather well. And that should set up for some really nice level 6 timings to set themselves up for some of their own aggression.
Well, March does go down. Canloon able to get a bit of revenge there onto the Veno. Get back towards Gabby now as Yamate is going to come in, but doesn't even have the cogs up. Gabby will get out of there just fine. So far in terms of CS, Armel and Gabby at the top having a great old time. Looking good for TNC. If they can keep this up, it could be a very good game for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a smooth ramp up for them to their power spikes. I do like that DDZ's got the stacks for themselves. They're not giving it, they're not saving it up for Lance. They're giving it towards that Zeus to rush the Ags buildup. So if that comes online and a good point, of course, that is something TNC has to be a bit weary about. They do have a nice forward ward to keep track of DDZ's farming. So perhaps a D ward down the line. And if you had a point in Lightning Bolt, I'm sure you'd see that by now. But, you know, you tend to go slower with the Zeus nowadays, just going for the farm game. Still, TNC, they're still feeling good. Gabby has not been contested too much. I mean, he hasn't died. They've only lost March down bot. Net worth lead still up there, less than 1k, but you've set yourselves up here in the laning phase. So as we approach a 10-minute mark, if you maintain this pacing, I think New's going to be under a little bit of pressure to make some plays across the map.
It will be soon enough. Trying to contest this this pool here. It's going to be a TP down towards the bot lane, so Armel now looking for a kill attempt. They might just go into Yamate. Gabby will slow him up with the cookie, but oh, that shackle could have latched on both. It did not, however, and Armel will just take the clockwork and back off. Probably back towards that mid lane.
Yeah, great kill. Good first rotation out from Armel. We are still waiting for New to get their own aggression out. They've got 6 in Candy. Again, they've been sitting on that Thunder God from DDZ for a while. It's hurting them that Yamate is still a 3. I think that's really the biggest thing they have to kind of fix. They do group 4 3 heroes bot. Maybe trying to look for that opening.
Who are they going to kill, though? Like, we can't... Oh, well, maybe with DDZ there, they could get the kill onto Gabby. They need to start up here. Yeah, there you go. The cookie's out, and Gabby does go down. Thunder God's Wrath is going to be out there, and March is also going to go down. DDZ with a nice double, and he had an Arcane Rune active, which is even better for his Thunder God's Wrath, because he will have it up a lot earlier.
Yeah, it's just a lot of value there. Sets themselves up for that tier 1 push as well. They're going to get a shove in. You can see TNC, they are in position up top to trade. They were ready for it. They're going to be able to go for a tower for a tower here. Pretty good positioning for them to keep the map control even. And it just kind of sets us up for a really even move into the mid game. Although Yamate.
Mid lane, getting caught out. Gabby going for the kill here, but a nice Cox pushback from Yamate. Still the dagger will get it done, but DDZ now going to come back in. Trying to get some damage pumped out here onto Gabby. But he can't quite finish the job off. It is only a level 1 lightning bolt so far. DDZ needs to be cautious here. He's still going for that ward. He does get galed up. Tim's going to come in for the toss back into the creep wave, and that'll be DDZ going down. Nice plays out from TNC.
Yeah, really reckless of New Esports to push their limits there. I mean, again, you're sacking Yamate. He's had a slower start on that clock. He does have the tome. That does give him 6. So you've got the hook shot. I think there are more plays, although down mid again.
Well, they've got the Oracle this time. Mosin, spotted danger. There's your avalanche toss, and it does kill him off. Thanks to Tims. Tims may go down here if Lance can close the gap, but they don't even need him. They get the Thunder God's Wrath off. Lance still rotating, trying to cut off KP, but KP's going to be alright. He has the Astral Steps anyway. It's going to make it a 6-5 now with a 1k net worth lead out for TNC. Still a very, very even match between the two.
Yeah, and I love this build-up coming out from Gabby. Does opt for the Hood of Defiance first, so you're mitigating that Zeus damage here. Burst is not going to be as scary. Even the Snapfire combo is not going to be as potent. That does give some durability out for a PA, so heads up build for Gabby. Stalling out his Battle Fury though, but I'm sure the game plan here for TNC is to stall the game out anyway. And that does mean you're safer from these ganks. Still, they've left Lance alone. They are smoked up. Maybe they find this Lifestealer here.
They'd love to get him. Lance just going to try and run away as he is so close to picking up that armlet, but they're looking to cut him off. Tims, he'll have his smoke broken. Armel won't be able to get in range. Leave Lance be.
I don't think so.
The Lifestealer now will turn back around to start farming the neutral camp. Which is fine. It will be getting that armlet up any second now.
And once you've got that, of course, with the hook shot ready to go from Yamate, I think you can make some plays across the map. Looking to build up here for Candy. He's just about 2,000 gold away from the Ags. So you're going to have a decent timing on that off-lane snap Ags as well. Got to be cautious about those power spikes coming out here from you. TNC should be aware and should get ready for him.
March, hookshot, going to come in with the Fortune's End setup. March really has nowhere to go. Mosin will be the one to take the kill now on the Oracle, but they've caught the clockwork out. Mosin is able to get the false promise off in time. That'll mean Yamate will be more than safe. Just be healing back up to full HP. Be able to walk away.
Yeah, it's a simple combo just to get off the full channel Fortune's End, then the hook shot in, but that's the strength of new esports. It's very simple to pull off these single target pickoffs. Still, TNC not the biggest loss. They are buying space out for Gabby, inching closer towards that Battle of Fury. Even KP rushing the Ags, and he's not too far off as well. So the Void Spirit Ags should line up with the Ags for Snap. It's going to be an interesting one to see once both of those are up from both sides.
Yamate may get picked off. Gabby going to jump in onto the clockwork, and yeah, he's definitely gone. Nice pick off there for our PA from TNC. Gabby already has that Hooded Defiance up on the PA, so just negating a lot of the damage that DDZ can bring out on the Zeus. It's going to work towards the Battle Fury build-up. It's a very slow build-up here for Gabby this game, but in terms of net worth, he has maintained his position at the top. I think that's really all that matters for TNC this game. Just keep Gabby healthy and farmed.
Yeah, that's really just the game plan, and they are actually getting him a lot of space, so he's able to go for the slower build-up just fine. They're invading the jungle as well. This is the perfect play for TNC if they find a kill.
Watch out for DDZ though. Shot is going to be out there. Caught KP there, and that should be KP gone. Candy able to pick up the kill now on the Snapfire. Candy is just rushing the Ag, so you do have to be a bit wary about how much gold you give away to this Snap.
That's, again, the timing of that's going to line up with the potential Ags of KP. In fact, no, it's going to be ahead now because of that. So you have to be wary about that. The Zeus Ags should line up with that timing as well. And even Lance, because he's given the space, he's just going to go straight MKB. That's going to rip through the PA and the Wind Ranger. You have to really be careful about letting a Lifestealer flash farm like this. I mean, I get that you're confident in the PA, but the Lifestealer, if you take the evasion away from that PA, it becomes a lot easier to handle.
It does. Ripping up. We do have an infest out onto Yamate. Hookshot back up as well. Time to go here. It's Yamate, what's he want to go for? He's going to run straight into March. And, well, he'll just throw out the hookshot. Lance will jump out and take the easy kill. In fact, Yamate will really want to get the kill with the battery assault. I was going to say Lance is also working straight for that MKB rush now. And that's the way to play it up against the PA. Just don't let her evasion become a problem.
No, it really takes a lot of her tank needs away. Even a Wind Ranger, right? Wind Run becomes a non-factor there. You don't have to entirely rely on magic damage here. Although DZ will do... Oh, Tims?
Tims trying to go after the Oracle. Almost gets him. They have False Promise. Gabby moving back in, but there's your False Promise out now from Mosin. Make sure he stays alive. KP still trying to get in for some more damage. Another dagger onto Mosin, and he will die through the False Promise. KB able to take that kill for himself, and now New Esports might need to just back off here. As TNC have their whole squad around, ready to fight. Ooh. There's your Thunder God's Wrath. Tims ends up dying to it on Lance. He wants to keep going. Nice shackle out from Armel though. Landing perfectly on the Lifestealer, but a great hook shot out from Yamate. Catching up March. The Aether Remnant not even locking in the clockwork till the last second. It's going to be a 2-for-1. The side of New as they do start moving into that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's big wins all around. They're really punishing the Venomancer. The impact of March is not as much as you'd expect. Tims as well is having issues bursting down these heroes. So you have to figure your targets out right here. I think you will just want to go for the Zeus. And speaking of that Zeus DBZ, he's just about 800 gold off from the Ags. He's going to go up to harass our mill a bit, but he's going to find that farm. So Zeus Ags, once that's up, Nimbus is going to be so annoying to play into. And I believe Gandaloon's Ags is also just 200 off. So it's going to line up perfectly. You're going to have a lot of impact for you, a lot of ways to engage. And TNC, we don't have any defensive items here. BKB is what Armel's saving up for next, but he is still about 450 gold off or so. It's a little bit off there, and the axe for KP is, well, going to be up in about 700, so not quite on point. The Esports is going to have a step up with these item pickups in a short while.
Yamate not going to try for the hook shot onto KP. It's KP not really the target you want a hook shot anyway. Top lane, Tim's going to jump onto DDZ with a nice toss back into Armel and a great shackle out. DDZ going down on the Zeus, and he was 200 gold off that point booster. It's going to be delayed now for the Zeus. And with that kill, Armel does pick up a full BKB. And that just means they can really start taking these team fights in back. Candy Loon gonna spit out the clockwork back onto Gabby. They want to go after the PA with the Fortune Zen, but TNC is there to help out their carry. Hook shot not gonna land onto Gabby, but Candy has the control and does kill off the PA now. Still KP moving forward onto Mosen, trying to get the kill onto the Oracle through the false promise, and he does not manage to get it. Will lose his life to Lance. That's 2 more cores going down for TNC.
Tim's?
Oh, Tim's. Not sure about that. Tried to go back in for Mosen, but it was not enough damage.
I mean, that was he was trying to make the most out of a bad situation. Really big wins coming out in the Gobble Up again. No.
I love how short the cooldown on Gobble Up is. It's just 40 seconds is too short. It's just way too short. Still
and
Armel.
It's terrifying.
Armel got DDZ again. So, DDZ, he just respawned. He's got his Ags up now, but you don't want to die like that over and over again if you are DDZ.
No, definitely not. Good pickups by Armel. You still have to worry about that, though. I am scared of the Gobble Up Nimbus play. I think you will not survive that, or you pop your BKBs constantly. That's going to be it for new Esports. They're just going to look to drop those BKBs down as low as possible. Very fortunate of TNC to find a Nether Shawl, though. But you also have it on you, so you're going to be able to mitigate some of that magic damage here. Just a tad bit better. But it's still a very even game. 1k lead for new Esports. It's not a massive win for them yet. You do have Lance #1 in net worth. Still waiting for that MKB. And I think you really need that up first before you feel super confident into the PA Wind Ranger. But Lance has got that solid farm up for himself, so just lacking the recipe now, and that is just about 100 gold off.
It's really what you're going to need for Lance to start taking over this game. He has taken over a net worth, Lance. Looking very, very nice in this lifestealer. Bounty runes. They won't fight over them. It should just be a 2 for 2. Bot lane, KP gonna get spotted, but Lance just pops the rage. Couldn't really hold on to him, so we'll have to let him go. But there's your MKB out now. We might just see an infest into a hook shot, or even just a big smoke up.
Yeah, it's a lot of opportunities for aggression now. I think what I want to see is infest into Gobble Up into hook shot. That's how you do it. Stack it up, Mike. You got to stack that stuff up. Let's see what they do. They do have the Nimbus. They want to reveal it, and there you go.
Rocket Flare. Go over Tim's. Wrap around here, but there's your Aghanim Scepter now onto KP. So he's got the double Resonant Pulse and the double Silence. They don't really care for that, though. They want to spot out Gabby. Gabby's going to go back and farm Yamate. I think he sees him. Hook shot on point, and Gabby is just going to melt. Mortimer's Kisses, unnecessary. March will take 1 and will also die with his carry. Lance going to be very, very happy about that one.
Yeah, just big wins all around. Great reveals of their item pickups here. TNC, they would love to reveal this Ags and KP, but when you've lost Gabby like that, it's going to set you back. And Gabby's actually not opting for a fast BKB. He's going for the Desolator first, so it's a priority of damage over survivability. This is something new Esports can punish. I think you've got to be cautious if you're the PA now, but they might see an opening here.
They haven't got the hook shot up, so Armel should be just fine. Lance wants the halberd up, which is fair enough. Just make Gabby's life that much harder. Because Gabby is still working towards that Desolator on the PA and has really fallen behind in net worth. Yamate.
Can be...
He spotted him out. Spots them out.
They don't quite get the... No, there it is. They know the opposite there. There you go. So, he wards out, keeping your jungle safe. Still trying to chip away at mid here, and this is a pain point for TNC. They do not have control over the mid tier 1. The Infest is back up. The hook shot's ready. Yamate and Lance are just ready to find these kills.
That they are. Up towards that top lane. Armel is still hanging around, but Tims is going to be there to help out just in case. Bubble up is going to be on target, and Lance going to jump out straight away, just demolishes Armel, and they've still got the hook shot for Tims if they can find him. In fact, no, they don't. Yamate did use it up close. I didn't think the hook shot was really necessary there, but I guess why not?
Yeah, I love that their combo is insane. They channel the Fortune Sand after the gobble up, so when it releases, it flies in with them, and they just have so much control. It's absolutely nuts how New is just playing into that combo, and TNC, they're falling one by one. They are split up, you know, they're farming that downtime, but there's a 3k lead now from New. They're eyeing that top tier 1, and it's only KP to keep it up.
And it is. T1 tower, not too valuable up that top lane, but they are going to try and maybe defend this one out. KB is forced to simulate. Tim's going in for an avalanche toss onto Yamate, but he's going to be healed up by Mosen. Still KP going to jump in again now with the Resonant Pulse, but Yamate staying alive now, goes for the hook shot. He's been shackled up. KP, he'll dissimulate once again, trying to just avoid and kite out, but Lance going into Armel now. March, he gets the Poison Nova, but he will die. TDZ moving in on the Zeus. Fortune's End is going to land onto Armel, but they won't have the damage output. Tims and Armel just going to keep their distance and try to back off there, as it is going to be another unsuccessful team fight here for TNC.
Yeah, they just don't have a way in. They see the DD though. Gabby might rip and tear with that.
He may, but it's a 3v5. They're not going to bother. In fact, Gobble up, he's going to be careful. They have hook shot soon. They have it up right now, in fact. But Gabby was blurred, and they did not realize that he was in that mid lane.
Oh, that's a major power spike now on Lance. He's got that Heaven's Halberd, so he's got more evasion. He's also got the disarm to deal with the Wind Ranger or the PA. And again, you went all in on these physical right-click cores. Your magic damage isn't quite lining up, and Lance is just off on a very good start on this Life Stealer.
Oh, great hook shot out. Yamate, he's caught two on the cogs there. Gabby, he has nothing to blink to, so they'll toss him out back onto Mosen, but the Avalanche going to slow him down. Still, they are managing to get him out. DDZ, he's going to focus on Tims instead. Gobble up. Oh, it's perfect onto Gabby. Yamate won't be able to get the cogs off in time, however. Gabby blink strikes out. Candy still wanting to chase. Cookie not going to be there. Scatter Blast does connect, but Gabby is still able to get out. Looks like they needed Lance to really finish off that job. However, Mel going for a focus fire onto Candy and should be able to get him. Still, they will lose March on the Venom. So just trades all around between these two. But in terms of net worth, it is still going to favor the side of New Esports.
It really is. Lance is still number 1. They did trade away Candyloon. I think if you are Armel, you're happy about that. You're not quite pleased with losing your support, so they're still building up the lead here, New. I think the thing right now for New to watch out for is the MKB on Armel. That's a major power spike for the Wind Ranger. Has a lot more damage coming in, but they've infested on Yamate. They're ready to go again. They've got the hook, and Gabby.
They smoke up. Yamate saw it. He knows they're smoked. Just going to try and break one. Smoke does get Armel. Armel now knows they're behind. See? Hook shot. Tempting onto March, but it did not connect. It is thinking about popping the Thunder God's Wrath to get full vision, but he We'll hold on to it for now.
Bobble?
Gobble up is perfect onto Armel. Oh, that is just... When you hear that sound, you just have to run. I don't know if TNC can hear it though.
No.
I've never played against Gobble up in a pub game. I don't know if you can hear it.
I think if you have vision, you can. Maybe you can... I don't know. You know how positional audio, it's pretty broken. They get the opportunity to go into the Roche now. TNC, they should know that this is happening. They've got KP, he can slide in. They've got a Blink and Tims. Can't let this go for free.
Now Roshan go down at a pretty nice speed. KP getting prepared to jump in with the Astral Steps. So many things to be worried about here, including that Nimbus, which is still going to be up, but the Gobble Up is once again perfect from the Snapfire. KP's gone. March is going to try and make a run for it, but it's no good. He's just stuck there and he will go down. Aegis will be out onto Lance. Oh man, this Snapfire Gobble Up, it is just a ridiculous spell.
It's so broken. I'm telling you, 700 damage off the bat if you land it. And it is just... With a Zeus around, the follow-up is just ridiculous. It's way too much. They've lined up their combo. Tims might look for a sneaky play.
Yeah, Avalanche Toss is there. Gabby, he's going to move in into the Nimbus and DDC. Well, he's got TPs coming, but he does die. Tims will die to the Nimbus and does. Gabby now on the run, but he's been slowed up by those open wounds, and Yamate will have the hook shot in a few seconds, but he'll jump back onto Mosin, but he cannot survive. Gabby does die. Oh, it's just... bad fight after bad fight for TNC. Yeah, you got the Zeus, but is it really worth losing Gabby and Tims? Probably not.
No, definitely not. You don't really gain too much there anymore as the PA. No buyback as well, so you're down for a full, well, not too long. Respawns are still fairly short, but you can feel it. New Esports, they've got the momentum up. They're going to go for tier 2 towers now. Without those two heroes, it should be fairly easy to get a good shove in here.
Should be. KB was spotted there from Mosin. Rocket Flare. Just going to get the D-Ward off there from their Oracle. Tier 2 mid tower. Going to go down very, very fast. Looks like Armel did manage to pick up the Blink Dagger on the Wind Ranger now. So you've got a nice way to gap close as Armel. But the game is looking very tough.
It is. They've got ways to come back in here, TNC. I want to point something out though. Look at Candyloo. He's queuing up an E-Blade.
They got the Gobble Up again, Tims. Fortune's End's going to follow. Candyloo has the cookie, and now the Thunder God's Wrath to come in. Meanwhile, mid lane, Yamate and Lance trying to go after another. Looks like that was KB, but he does Astral Step away, and he's going to be alright. That's also seeing Gabby there in the mid lane for a second, but won't bother trying to chase him down on the Phantom Assassin. I mean, TNC, they're not out of it yet, but they are losing at a decent rate. Like, it's 87% the way of new esports right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't very good news for TNC.
No, it's definitely not. It feels like it's just going downhill at a medium pace here. So the tier 2, they're just going to line up for these objectives next. TNC can try to split push. You can see the Venaward just constantly keeping the wave up top shoved in. But new esports, they've got their numbers lined out bot, and they're just going to go for the sure tower push. You're about to hit any level spikes. No, you've already got level 20 on most of your cores. I suppose Candyloon's level 20 is going to be big. No, Little Shredder using attack damage is going to be very strong for the snap once you start itemizing for right click. And tier 2 bot, no defense coming out. TNC just forced to play elsewhere.
I mean, March is just trying to push up the top wave, but it's only a Veno. Like, yeah, he can do it, but I don't think it's going to be enough for new esports to back off. It does seem like they want to try for the high ground with that Aegis up. Even when they do leave, Lance should have enough gold to pick up the AC. Gobble up.
Oh.
Onto a creep. Does connect onto KB, but he can always Astral Step away. They won't bother with that. They jump back in. Resonant Pulse, but Lance had the rage. Now Armel. Not focus firing yet. We'll get open wounded up. DDZ will get started with the damage. He will focus fire, but Yamate. A great hook shot in. Armel trying to BKB and run, and he can't. And he has no buyback gold. He wasted it all on the blink. Oh, there's 2 down. KP can buy back. Tims, he'll get the Aegis. Gabby, he's going to make a miracle happen here. He's going to hope for some very lucky crits onto Lance. But you've got the AC up now. Lance looks like he's happy with the tier 3 tower. They might reinitiate. Yeah, they are.
Ooh.
There's the Impulse. There's the hook shot.
Oh,
Gabby, he went into farm. They know he's there somewhere. Candy going to blink forward. Gobble Up is going to be out, but not on target. Yamate now spotting out the PA. Does get the hook shot anyway. Gabby needs to run and will barely be able to get out of there.
Ooh, that is really Tim's with a 4-staff play. Last minute save. If they lost Gabby, they would have lost a lot more objectives. So keeping him alive. He does have a BKB, but he hasn't popped it yet. I think he wants to use that offensively instead. Still, tier 3 bot taken, so racks are open. With the Aegis gone, New Esports might just play a bit safe. Maybe get some more mana onto DDZ as he is low. He is just going to TP home to get a refill. Does have the travels, so it's not going to take too long. And once he's back in, I'm sure they're going to go for a play. Still, smoke out. TNC want to try to bounce back here.
Well, where are they going? They're going to wrap around through the mid lane, back behind,
Candy.
but look at Candleloon. That's great positioning, but KP knows exactly where he is and is going to jump in. Back onto the Oracle now, trying to burst him down, but it's not going to be good enough. And the Infest and the hook shot out onto Tims. It'll be a 1-for-1 so far, but Tims will buy it back. They're after Candleloon now, wanting to get rid of that Snapfire, and they just might. Gabby does manage to get it. All buybacks are being expended, and KP is going to lose his life. That'll be a dieback on the Void Spirit, and now March. He poisoned Novid, but he is also down with that buyback. Now onto Gabby. He'll blink strike away, but the gobble up.
Oh.
It's perfect from Yamate. Gabby, though, he'll BKB back into the team fight. Onto Yamate, looking for that clockwork, and no, the hook shot's going to be there. Gabby's not critting at all. He will blink strike back out after getting the clockwork, but he is out of that BKB. He's been open wounded. He is going to die, but he can buy back. Gabby's getting very unlucky, John. I don't see any crits when he needs them.
It's not what you want to see as the PA, but this puts him in a very scary spot. KP will have no buyback even if he respawns, and Gabby, I don't think they want to buy back with this as well. They're going to have to give at least a lane of racks, maybe more if New Esports wants to push their luck. They did have to buy back on a couple of their own heroes, so it is a bit of a risk as well, but they're confident. They're just going to keep going. They've got 25 on Lance. He's got that 1.5 second extension on the rage duration, insanely long spell immunity for our Lifestealer, and they just rip and tear.
Well, they can't get Megas, and that's the one big positive here for TNC. There is still a tier 2 tower standing up in that top lane. The best they can hope for is 2 Raxes to go down, and it looks like Lance may just get away with it as well. As KP does jump in now with the silence. Shackle not going to latch, and False Promise will save anyway. Gobble Up is in onto the Veno, but they just wanted the Rax. They infest, and they are just going to run. Mel not able to keep up either on the Wind Ranger. And so, TNC find themselves 2 Raxes down.
Even I like a good
It's a very tough position for them to come back from, but they can do it.
Yeah, it's not out of the... They're not out of the game yet. The chances are getting lower though. Dota Plus Mike, it's giving them a 5% chance to win TNC. So a 95% advantage here for New Esports. They're looking good. They've got a little bit more room to grow. Level 25 for DDZ has to come up first. And that's going to boost his DPS or boost his safety with how far he can cast away from. We've also yet to see the level 20 talent for Candy, which again boosts either the DPS or just the control they get out on that snap. I believe they do have the gold out for the shotgun for Candy Loon as well. We'll see if that's the option there. It's just another disarm that can come into play. Goes for the kiss to slow. So not the right click build. I think when you're this far ahead, the slow will help. You know, you just keep them trapped. When the BKBs wear off, they just can't run away. Puts them in a very awkward spot. Still, gonna be a while until that next rush. That's gonna be the focal point for both teams. Neither side will want to give away a free rush at this point in the game.
Well, TNC especially can't allow it to go down. According to Dota Plus, they have a 2% chance of getting a comeback, and KP could be in danger. Yamate, hook shot. He's going to land onto Tim's. That'll be Tim's. He is gone. No buyback. Armel is around with an invis, waiting for that right shackle attempt. He is going to get a double onto DDZ, but the false promise is going to save. Still Gabby does kill off Mosen, but DDZ will continue going back onto KB now with the refresher orb, just fighting back, but Gabby rips him apart, now gets Candlewood as well. Here comes Lance, but Gabby has already blinked away. Hookshot is back up, but they don't want to fight with the 2v3. Maybe they do. Yamate still going to stick around with Lance. March is going to get spotted here. Yamate, he's going to hold on to the hook for now. Lance doesn't need it. They'll make it a 3 for 3. Does Gabby dare to jump in for that life stealer? No, he does not.
It's way too big a risk. You do buy some time out here for TNC, so new Esports, they have to wait a bit more. That's a dieback for Candy Loon. I believe that's also a dieback for Mosen, so good punishment out there. They're going to be stalling out any progress, but Yamate and Lance, they don't want to chill out. They want to get some punishment out with that duo. Still roaming, but they do finally break it up. Just farm up tier 4s. Might give you some opportunities there. How lucky can you get, though? A double damage just down there they could pick up with Lance. Like, that's really fair.
Yeah. He's got an Abyssal Blade coming out soon as well, so I think he wants to just leave the DD rune there, or maybe not. He's just going to take it. I thought they might just be willing to leave it until later on. But he's going to rush the Roshan pit. TNC, they seem to be aware that this could be happening. Power shot should reveal it. Armel just... Oh, I don't know about walking in like that. Armel, he didn't know. Oh, and he gets bashed straight away. Now the hook shot out from Yamate. They didn't know.
What?
No power shot.
What? No, but they had the courier. They lost Gabby's courier in there. That is not a mistake you can excuse. They lose the Aegis. The cheese is down as well. They've got to nail this defense. You don't have RML for a minute. He does not have gold for buyback, even after he respawns, and they're in the Abyssal, so.
Oh, this is looking tough. New Esports, they might even go for tier 4 towers. That tier 2 top tower is still standing. Lance. He's just hanging around, hoping someone gets close. He has the Abyssal up. Thames does not want to die right now. Lance does not go for it either. Go for the rain tracks instead. Take that out. Thunder God's going to give vision over Gabby. Now with the Nimbus being dropped as well. DDZ, he's around, but he can't get jumped here by Gabby. Otherwise, he might die. But Gabby still trying to run. Nimbus going to be a bit out of position there. They know he's up there somewhere, but Gabby is not allowing them to push this top lane out. Now the TP play is going to make it. Nice plays out from our PA. See if it makes a difference. It has at least allowed Armel to respawn.
Yeah, they've stalled out long enough. They are down to full racks now, though. They hold on to one outer tower. That is the boon here for TNC, but it's not going to live for long. They can't keep cutting creep waves anymore. There is going to be a push coming out here from new Esports. Even our Clockwork, like even Yamate is looking tanky. He's got Solar Crest up. He's got a Vanguard up. Going into the Crimson Guard, just mitigating all the physical damage out, and they're keeping constant eyes on Gabby.
Even the
just making sure the PA is, oh man, just really stacking it all up.
36 armor in our Clockwork, John.
Considering how bad Yamate's start was, that's a huge improvement for him.
Oh, it is. They'll delay things with the Plague Wards. Lance does not give a crap. He'll run to the tier 3 tower. Of course, he does have that Aegis, but now Gabby going to pick up an Abyssal of his own. He had buyback in a minute and a half, but now has no gold. Still, they'll get started. Trying to go after Lance, but Lance is just ripping KP to shreds. They do get Mosen, however. You don't have that Oracle up now. Mosen, he can't buy back. There will be an infest, but a nice shackle out, catching the Clockwork. Lance, however, going to pop back out onto Gabby, but the Force Stuff's going to save Gabby's life. He's still trying to run. Back with the Abyssal, and the Blink's right up, but Lance, moving forward, does block the hook shot from Yamate. Armel. Shackle won't latch onto Lance. Focus Fire now, trying to force him back. Lance is getting pretty darn low and is going to lose the Aegis. He's going to need some help here. Ronel standing back, but he'll go back onto KB. That'll be your Void Spirit gone. KB, however, killing off Lance pretty nicely on this Lifestealer, but the Gobble Up is going to save the day. Gabby will not be able to finish off the LS. Instead, he will be able to clean up the rest. Hook shot, no, it's perfect onto Lance, and Yamate just TPs out of there. They can't get the avalanche in time, but Lance, he's been left behind. He doesn't have Infest yet. He's going to try for the rage TP, but the bash comes out from Gabby. Lance is going to try and fight back. He's trying his best. Everyone is attacking him, though. He's going to get tossed up, and he will go down. And this could be the opening for TNC. They might be able to do it.
Yeah, they've got a lot of time without Lance up. They can make some space on the map. They are going to be shoved in 2 waves, though. And there are a couple of heroes up, but those are only the supports. Mosin, don't want to be there.
Oh, Mosin, no.
She really didn't want to be there. Ooh, yeah, that's bad. 4 heroes down, only the Clockwork to stop any sort of push. There are still tier 2s up. They do have to set their eyes up top if they want to get a Rax here. And new Esports slipping up a bit. That greedy play from Lance to go back for the leveler cost him. He didn't have a way to get out anymore, and well, they paid dearly and have to give these objectives away. They've got to stall for 40 seconds, but these towers won't last that long.
Well, I think you've just got to give up the mid-racks. There's no way out of this one. They'll glyph up. Gabby's got that Divine Rapier queued up. The only play, Tim's toss back onto Yamate with the Avalanche. Should mean Yamate dies, but no, he goes for the hook shot back onto Tim's. Gabby does not jump in after the Clockwork, and they do delete Tim's. KB now also jumping in, but needs to leave. This Zeus damage is kind of insane, as KB still being chased down now with the Simulate, is forced to BKB up. Gabby jumps back in onto Mosin. Now the Shackle shot out from Armel. He's going to probably kill off this Clockwork. Yamate is unable to survive, and Gabby, meanwhile, gets the easy on the Zeus. Alright, TNC getting the job done. Yamate trying for the hook shot, but it's not going to be good. Lance now fighting back, gets KP, wants Gabby, but Gabby is going to kite him out. DDZ now with the buyback on the Zeus, going to rush for that PA kill attempt, but Gabby does blink out of there. Another Nimbus out will give vision, but they'll have to settle for March.
Oh, man. The big issue here is really the fact that Gabby has an insane Phantom Strike range. Like, he can just keep blinking back. The Abyssal on Lance is not enough. They need additional hold. And oh, God, there's a Divine. Gabby.
Here we go.
The all-in.
Here's the comeback. How lucky can Gabby get with some crits, though? That's what we want to see, right? You want to see a lucky crit coming out on the LS. Maybe just deleting one hero straight off the bat. Can't get caught out. They saw him with that dagger. He's going to go for the TB play, and we'll be fine.
Oh, boy. It's on the edge now. It's an all-in. If Gabby drops, that is it. You know, the Divine's going to be on the deck. You're going to have to contend with so much more damage coming in. I think new Esports, maybe Candy Loon regretting going for the Kisses slow. I think if you had the Little Shredder damage and you built right-click here, you wouldn't have an issue with Gabby, especially if you had an MKB up. But not the case. New Esports going to have to take it slow. Next Roche, we're going to find out in a minute and a half when it's going to be. Maybe you just set your eyes towards that third Roshan. Work your way for that second life. You're in a precarious spot. You were forced to buy back. It's a lot of tension here for both sides.
Infest out on Yamate. Gobble up is there. Canloon going to spit him in, but that's just an illusion. Roshan still a minute away from finding out what time it will respawn. Lance is at that 28 mark now, but Gabby's at level 29. Probably just wants to work towards the 30 if he can. Plus 100% on coup de grace, excuse me, would be pretty nice.
Yeah. A lot of damage that can come in. Even the lifesteal is going to help Gabby out massively. Man, just so tense. You can tell new Esports suddenly lost a lot of their confidence from that kind of trade. And they're now thinking twice about every single movement they make. We're that close to sealing the game out, but a couple of missteps and really severe punishment out here from TNC.
Smoke up. They don't have many buybacks left. They've got to make this one count. A lot of wards being placed. Tinker ward out as well. And Infest onto Yamate. He's going to be able to break the smoke. We'll spot out KP. KP just trying to bait for the team, but Yamate has not taken the bait. Thinking about it. They see the avalanche now. They know the whole team's there. Yamate, rocket flare, not going to give vision. TNC, they're going to try again probably, but I just want to wait out for that level 30 timing on Gabby. Mind you, it does take quite a bit of time to get there. Either that or you try and counter the next Roshan play.
Yeah, it's a slower Rosh. 2 minutes until the respawn. It's going to be a bit long for both sides to wait out for. We do have the courier preemptively scouting there for TNC. I think New Esports should take that courier out to maintain some vision there. They've got some good wards for the next Roche fight though. Keeping eyes in the triangle. TNC playing it right on the opposite side of the map, just getting some stable farm up.
Smoke up,
trying to get as much as possible.
Is there, tossed right in onto March, and they'll get the Venomancer, but the hook shot gonna be wasted on a tiny illusion. And he spot out Tims. Lance wants to get the Abyssal off. Can he get in range? No. The blink away from Tims is gonna be good. I like that little item pick up there from Yamate with the Blade Mail. Gabby may not be expecting that. One crit could kill him. They spot out more. Yamate, 5 seconds for that hook shot. You can see they can't fight without the vision. They'll have to back out of there. Their outpost will be taken.
Yeah, it's just cautious play here. Don't want to risk it with the Divine up. They know Tims is still around though.
They're just
barely missing the vision.
That's your illusion. DDZ, does he keep checking? Tim's going to blink further right, but they spotted him out. That's where he used to be. Right in the corner now. Rocket flare. No, not going to land. Thunderbolt. No. But Mosen found him. Mosen's got him. Hide and 6 over Tims. Does go Scepter, but it's not going to help. No buyback for 30 seconds. He'll probably have a backup for the high ground defense. Assuming he does have the gold for it, which he should. And he does.
Yeah, you've got a Satanic out now on Gabby. So they can fight really well in these team fights. Break out the Satanic active. Gabby's going to be alive a lot longer than you expect. Still have a decent time in the BKB as well, considering this time of the game. 6 seconds up. So it's not down to 5 yet. Going to be a second longer, and that second could be key for TNC to find that opening back, as both teams just waiting for Roche. New Esports are going to be around for that respawn. They see it first.
How fast can they take it, though? That's the real question here. Because TNC, I don't think they can necessarily afford to let this one go. They do have the Divine, they have ways of holding high ground, so they might not agree with that statement. And either way, the Roshan is dropping a bit too quick for them to react. So they are going to miss out. Lance should have another Aegis, and, for that matter, a Refresher Shard, which you can give over to DDZ, and have 3 Thunder God's Wrath. He'll take it.
Oh, they love the cheese. Come on, boys.
Yamate will grab it. So now you've got 3 Nimbus, 3 Thunder God's Wrath for the next team fight. It's a lot of damage output from DDZ. Just a matter of waiting out the BKBs and getting those off.
Yeah. It's gonna be down to timing. Oh my god.
Well, you've got it though, right? Like, you know that Gabby's got a Divine. You've got to pick one up yourself.
It's on the edge now.
Yep.
So, we'll see who gets to jump in. You don't have a crit here though for a Lifestealer, so he can't go as insane, but this should be enough to pierce through. It also makes your damage consistent, as it's absolute true strike. Unlike the MKB, which is like 75%, just mitigating that by a bit. So, just looking for that opportunity to take that last set of racks.
That's all they want. Yamate is going to be all up to him to get a nice hookshot or a gobble up. Gobble up? No, I'm not going to go for it yet. try it another time, it seems. Now, we are 8 minutes away from those tier 5 items. So you could wait out those if you want.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's no real rush for either side. I think this is a bit of a stalemate. Either way, we're not seeing any major progress in items or anything that's meaningful beyond more divines. We're not seeing any major level 30 spikes as well. They're all just kind of nice to have, but nothing completely game-changing. I think you're fine to just wait. I don't think either side does want to play that waiting game, though. And new Esports does win out because you're shoving against super creeps. You're not getting as much gold. Does mean, yeah, new Esports does build a little bit more of a lead as time goes on here.
Oh, Gabby's working towards that Aghanim Scepter on the PA now. Interesting.
I mean, it's pretty darn good considering that you're going to be critting people down anyway. Might as well get Constant Refresh and Phantom Strike and Dagger.
Of course.
So here, you're just going to be able to, you know, maintain the damage output, maintain the mobility, which has really been the biggest issue News had. It's the Phantom Strike.
Astral step out. Bot lane, however, DDZ. Who's he going after? It's going to be Tim's. They spot him out now. They stun him up so he cannot TP. And that is going to be Tim's gone. He does have buyback. That was the Refresher Shard being used, by the way, DDZ. So you won't have 3 of those ultis any longer. It is only going to be 2 out of the Zeus. Might be worth it to force out the buyback from Tim's.
Yeah, I think they do smoke up. They want to keep that control up. There's that Infest.
Yeah, Yamate. Oh, Amel would be a nice target, but he does blink away. Double up. No. Okay. CKP there. Hook shot. He's thinking about it. No, he misses.
Oh.
He misses, but they'll go for the racks anyway. They'll just try to rush it. Gabby. Here's your focus fire. No lucky crit on the dagger. Stare the racks down again. There's actually a DD rune up at that top lane right now, but nobody's going for it. And KP, he got caught out. He can buy back. He will, but now Armel going to get caught out by the Abyss, but Yamate missed the hook shot again. Uh-oh, Yamate probably going to get taken out here, but Lance trying to fight Gabby. Gabby is fighting back and taking a lot of damage here. Lance is going to lose the Aegis. That's 1 life. Do it again, DDZ. He kills off March. He'll buy back. Mortimer's Kiss is flying in. They got the Megas. Looks like that's it. They want to get out of there. TNC, can they punish? Tims jumps in for the toss back onto Yamate. It's not enough though. Tims does die. He'll commit the buyback. Now the hook shot though. They caught Gabby on the PA. Where's the Abyssal? Not in range yet, but he does get there. Lance can get the job done. Gabby is so low, but not low enough. Tims once again. Avalanche toss in onto Yamate now with the Pulse Promise out from Mosen. That'll keep Yamate safe. Invest there as well. They have hook shot again in 8 seconds if they want to reinitiate. But they've got the Megas, that might be enough for them.
Ooh, this is a scary match to watch, Mike. Just on the edge, Divines ready to go. E-Blades up and running as well here for DDZ, so he's got a safety measure to save himself from the physical burst. KP.
Simulate. Fortune Zen going to follow him down. Gobble up. Not going to connect. They'll just hold the high ground. If you're new right now...
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Aghanim Scepter. He has not much gold left.
Yep. It's on the edge. There's a Hex out on our snap. They could make something happen with that as well, but take their time. No Aegis, no cheese. Just go back, refresh a bit. There's a... Did I hear smoke or just a Ninja Gear?
Just Ninja Gear.
Yeah, just a Ninja Gear. They've got to change that sound effect.
Yeah.
It's so suspect.
Yeah, the thing is, though, if you're new Esports right now, you've got 3 minutes till tier 5 items, you've got complete map control. You may as well just wait out the tier 5 items, get 4 for yourself, and not allow TNC to get any, as they are going to be stuck high ground anyway. And then try to go back high ground.
Pretty much. They're also getting some nice items in. The DDZ's got this Octarine. I look at his cooldowns. 63 seconds on Thunder God's Wrath, 23.8 on Nimbus.
Jeez.
So that's pretty sickeningly low. Even the refresh orb is down to 95 seconds as well. So a lot of double spells to cast, low committal, and they just keep scouting out, keep stalling the game out. And as you said, they've got control of that entire map now. Just threatening around with Yamate and Lance with a constant infest. They actually lose a tier 4 as well.
Well, they've got 2 heroes out for TNC right now, just roaming the dire jungle. Trying to get in position to maybe take some tier 5 items and hopefully find a pick-off, but they need some farm for sure. They're being starved right now. They'll leave Armel to just farm up in the dire jungle. Looks like new Esports want to see if they can make the jump in before that 60-minute mark. Yamate, not going to spot anyone out with that rocket flare. Gabby already has another Divine queued up. Pull up is there and does connect onto March. Now the hook shot in. They're going to go after KP, and KP's so low, but Gabby is going to try and fight back now with that lifestealer Lance. He's getting low. He is still surviving, however, with the false promise. The fire from the sky is just so much damage. Lance, I wonder how much damage he took during that false promise. Not enough, apparently. He's going to be all right. 3 versus 5.
No buyback. This is scary.
It's a big 3k crit out of Gabby, but Lance is just so tanky right now that he does not care. Hook shot, not going to land from Yamate. Nimbus plays down. Candy jumps in for the side device, but the wind run was already out from Armel. He'll be alright. Now Gabby jumping back in onto that life stealer, but false promise again going to save him. Gabby, half HP right now. He needs to jump on that Oracle, and he will, but DDZ, he's got the control. He'll take him out. Divine to the deck, and Candy will pick it up on the Snapfire. Gabby jumping back in now onto Mose and gets the kill, but the Ancient, it's been exposed. And new Esports will be able to get the 2-0 victory over TNC. And that does mean that TNC will be leaving the BTS Pro Series Season 3.
Man, I don't think anyone expected new Esports to 2-0 TNC. But TNC, game 1 was odd. Game 2, they put up the fight. They went into the rapiers. Not enough. New Esports, disciplined play, cleaned up their act. It's looking good from these boys. They move on. And TNC, they're out early. This is really not what we expect. But again, Southeast Asia, the scene has shifted a lot. And TNC, they were just not on point today. First series didn't line up. Second series as well, a heavy struggle. But big props to new Esports. They're going further. How far can these guys go? Guess we'll just find out tomorrow.
We will. Of course, we are starting our day off tomorrow with Among Us versus Boom Esports. So we're starting around the same time as today. You don't want to miss out on that series, John. That's going to be a big one, of course. We'll see if Boom can give it back the way of Among Us, or whether Among Us is going to secure a grand final spot straight off the bat tomorrow. And of course, after that, we'll also have Motivate Trust versus new Esports in the lower bracket round of 3. That should be a very interesting matchup to finish us off for the day. But for tonight, that's it. It is MLP Dota and johnxfire. We'll see you all again same time tomorrow for the upper bracket finals. We'll see you then.